All I did was pee in a corner. A bunch of soldiers dragged me to the prison. No I'm a condemned man. Just because I was peeing. The Princess King fe happened to pass by. The MP got pissed and threw me behind bars. As I died the exiled soon. When I was desperate, ready to end it all. A notification popped up in my mind. I somehow awakened the killing God system. If I keep killing enemies, I'll get stronger. But right now, I'm just a prisoner waiting to die. Where am I supposed to find enemies to level up? Before I could figure it out, the cell door opened. A guard walked in with a vicious prisoner. When the prisoner saw me, he came right at me. Inside, I knew this was bad. I tried to get up and leave, but his hand landed on my shoulder. You're Suchen, right? You got the wrong guy. Stop pretending. That creepy face. I'd recognize you even if you were ashes. You even dealt mess with Princess King Fane. You're bold, ha. My heart tightened suddenly. This guy knows everything about me. He came for me. Someone paid for your death. Be careful in your next life. As soon as he finished talking, the guy's won. His heavy shekels, right at my head. My pupils shrank. If he got hit, I'd be on the spot. The urge to survive made me that be instinct. The shekels meshed hard into the wall, leaving a dent. And the prisoners just watched coldly. When he dodged the hit, the man got furious. He aimed a vicious kick at me. He couldn't dodge into me, and got kicked hard in the chest. Pain shot through my whole body. Cornered, I decided to fight back. While I was off balance, I charged at him like crazy. I hadn't recovered yet, and I knocked him down. If you want me dead, I'll send you packing fast. I used my cold shackles, and squeezed his neck with all my strength. His tendre, struggling with everything he had, no matter how he pounded. I wouldn't let go. My only thought was to choke him. I don't know how long passed, until I stopped fighting, and went completely still. I gasped for air. The rush of survival made my hands tremble. Suddenly, a cold mechanical voice sounded in my mind. Congratulations, host. Kill count, 1, reward, más la 0 y 5 attribute points. So that's the system's power, as long as there has to me, and counted as enemies by the system. I get attribute points for killing them. I quickly pulled up the attribute panel. Looking at my pathetic stats, I didn't hesitate. I put the full 0.5 points into Constitution. In the next second, a warm wave filled my body. My worn out stamina instantly recovered. I actually felt more energetic than before. I checked the panel again. Nice, this is great. Killing one makes me stronger. If I kill a few more, won't it all displace? Iskenda de condemned prisoners. They all shivered and the meister. None daring to look at me. I couldn't help but feel disappointed. Too bad none of them want me dead. They're not enemies. They're wasted experience. Just then, I heard the guard's footsteps in the hall. I wiped the blood from my face. Leaning against the wall, I acted like nothing happened. The guard glanced at the cell, saw the guy lying still on the floor, and said nothing. I just walked away. The next few days, the cell was unusually quiet, but I was starving. With my constitution up, my appetite grew too. 2 once a day was barely anything for me. I was hungry enough each day to want to eat the stomach. Dear heaven, if I don't get a proper meal soon, I'm gonna die of hunger. Just as he held up at the sky, the guard came to say we were leaving, and the prisoners looked hopeless. On the road to exile, you'd likely die. But he was full of hope. Finally, I get out of this yole. The border's chaos is perfect. The messier, the more enemies. I can kill and level up, and get food along the way. A dozen prisoners, we chained together with a thick chain. Unlucky me, I was feasting line, dragging a whole line of stumbling prisoners. I was half faint from hunger, every step to call my strength. Naturally, I slowed the group down. The escort was a fierce officer with thick brows. He rode over and lashed me with curses. Why are you so slow? Are you parterto? If we don't make the station before dark, I'll skin you alive. I clenched my teeth, forcing myself to walk faster. I walked over 100 miles in one go. At NON, we finally stopped at a forest's edge. The escort sat together, munching on Jackie. The smell was irresistible. We prisoners could only watch, gulping down saliva, seeing them feast. I shut my eyes, out of sight, out of mind, resting against a tree. As he was about to doze off, the ground started to tremble slightly. I checked awake, before I knew what's going on. Rapid of bats rushed closer. 5 men on fast horses, wearing light armor, charged to the forest edge full of killing intent. The bearded leader had made in his chest. He drew his sword and pointed at us. WHO wants to come out and die? My heart sank. Looks like someone really wants me dead before reaching the border. Before I could say anything, the square-faced guy from my cell jumped out of the crowd, pointed at me and yelled, "It's him." He had his name in prison. I glared at him, making a mental note. The bearded leader grinned, and stepped toward me. "So you're a coward. Fine then. Let me send you to hell." Before I finished, he suddenly swung his big sword at me. I'm chained up with Hades. Nowhere to dodge. I could only raise my chained hands to black. A sharp flame ran out. My wrist didn't break. Instead, the shackle and my hand was split open. We both froze for a second, but I reacted faster than him. While he was still in shock, I snatched the big knife from his hand. With a quick slash, I sent a that guy to his death. Everyone else was stunned by what happened. WHO would have thought. I went from a lane to the slot 1 second, to suddenly fighting back the next, to cut the base up Achilles. At that moment, the system notification rang in my head. Then, enemy killed. Attribute point reward, 0.6. I didn't hesitate at all. Dumped all the no points into Constitution. A warm rush instantly filled my whole body. All my tribal fatigue vanished in a second. I felt like I hadn't lost energy. Looking at the 4 remaining kills, they didn't even seem threatening anymore. Just 4 walking loot bags now. They weren't even scared, after seeing their leader die. The next second, they all charged at me again, yelling. I shouted back, not backing down at all. I charged at them, swinging the blade, 1 against 4. I didn't even fall behind. Fighting, I only got more fired up. Those 4 started to lose their grip, arms shaking. What, didn't it today? You weaklings think you can kill me? I kept swinging the knife, and taunting them. One finally got mad, and made a fatal mistake. I seized the chance at 11. One strike and he was down. No system notification. Guess he's not dead yet. Was about to finish him, when suddenly a squad of soldiers burst from the bushes. Leading them was the thick crowd of WHO there's attack soldiers. How dare you mess with the squad? Celestikiles or something soft, and bolted for the woods. I cast internally. Stupid soldiers picked the worst time to show up. Scared away my free attribute points. I finished off the half-dead one on the ground, making sure he was done for. I saved this la 0 y 2 for later. You made me do it. Why? I dejé die sorry do. What other reason doing it? WHO with those guys. Ofase, I'm wondering that too. Why don't you go ask them yourself? The crowd of Ofase gave me a long look, but didn't ask Fede. Just had someone put no shekels on me. He'd actually seen the whole thing from hiding, probably wondering how a starving dead drawing mate like me managed to overpower trained killers. That evening, we were locked up in a temporary cell at the post station. Everyone was completely wiped out. Only I was still full of energy. Everyone else instinctively stayed away from me, especially. Said I with the square jaw, WHO ratted me out. I was terrified I'd go up to him. Wouldn't even look up at me. Awake from the post station, brought in cornbread. Everyone rushed for it right away. Except a square-jawed guy, WHO didn't dare move. I stared at him hard, and knew he was watching. If he doesn't grab it now, I'll just take it myself. As the wake edged him on, the square-jawed guy was too hungry to stand it. Just as he got up to grab bread, I stood up too. I was terrified. You, don't go too far. Didn't seem like you cared about too far when you sold me out. I swung my shekels and smashed them at him. I screamed and begged the weke for help. But the weke didn't even glance over, just turned and left. The square-jawed guy was instantly in despair. The fear in his eyes turned to madness. I figured he was dead anyway, so might as well fight back. He charged at me, but I knocked him down right away. I flew back from the hit. Team number killed 1. Attribute point bonus 0.1. Attribute points left la 0 y 3. Just la 0 y 1. The night passed quietly. Next morning, the weke came to deliver breakfast unto me. Strangely, no one dared grab food this time. All the prisoners just stared at me. The same death row guy came over smiling nervously. Go ahead, boss, you first. I paused, then smirked. So you guys not eating? We wouldn't eat it unless you did first. I didn't stand on ceremony, grabbed 2 breads and started wolfing them down. Just then, the thick crowd of us came to check on us. I immediately noticed the square-jawed guy dead on the floor. WHO did this. Nobody in the cell answered, only the sound of me eating bread. The officer walked up to me and looked down. How did he die? Officer slept like a log. How would he know? Then how do you explain the blood on your shekels? I raised my hand and looked. Yep, there was fresh blood on the shekels. And this was just put on me yesterday. For a second, I didn't know how to explain it. That's so weird. How did blood get on my shekels? Maybe you should just give me an au pair? Cuts and nonsense. Be honest. About what? We all have our heads on the line. Someone demand why is normal. Heck, it could be next. Right, officer. The crowd of us stared at me, like he was trying to read me. Finally, I just grunted, and said nothing. The attendant left. The group kept moving toward the border, with yesterday's points gone, and nothing in my stomach. My steps were heavy. Whenever I slowed down up front, the whole group would have to slow down too. The officer rode over on his horse and yelled at me, "Come on, where's all that swagger from yesterday?" I held my lip, holding back my anger, and sped up. You know what they say, under someone else's roof, you have to keep your head down. Around midday, the group stopped by a small river to rest. Every prison I collapsed on the ground. I just sat down, about to wrap my legs, when the officer tossed me a bucket. Go get water. Everyone's thirsty. Officer. How am I supposed to do chores like this? Unlike him, the officer ordered right away, and the guards released my chains, but he made sure to guys watch me. Keep a close eye on him. Don't let him pull any tricks. I took the bucket and walked to the river. Just finished getting water, when the death row prisoners pounced on it like wolves. I didn't even catch my breath, before the officer blocked my way again. Go catch some fish in the river. Can't you see everyone starving here? Sorry, if you want to eat, catch it yourself. You dare disobey orders? Said tension in the air. He tracked bottom instantly. Thick brows put his hand on his sword hilt. I didn't back down at all. I glared back at him hard. Get water fast, then catch fish. What? You want me to start a fire and feed you too? I'm a condemned prisoner, not your servant. Things were about to fall apart. An old hunchback from the same cell suddenly leaned over with a fleeting smile. Sir, I know how to catch fish. I'll go with him. Go ahead, on the way to the river. Go grinned and slid up to me. Watch how you do it, big guy. Why are you helping me? Hey, I respect a real man, that's all. It's dangerous out here. We gotta look out for each other. Back on me, I used to be a big shot too. They called me White Stripe in the waves. So your last name's Jan? I'm Dog B name. Never mind then. Turns out the old man actually knew his stuff. Even with shekels, I moved smoothly in the water. I caught a few big fish in no time. When we got back to shore, Dick Brows looked down at the fish, never even lifting his eyelids. Slaughtered them. Can't you grill the fish? I don't want to say it was. I'm not someone you can push around. I was clearly trying to show me who's boss. I was about to explode. The hunchback jumped in to smooth things over again. Sir, I can grill fish. Just need some salt. Thick Brows shot me a cold look and tossed the hunchback a small bag of salt. Then I walked away. I plopped right down on the ground. Swore to myself I'd get him back one day. The hunchback started gutting and grilling the fish skillfully, while quietly trying to comfort me. Don't take it too hard, buddy. You can't beat authority. Just put up with it and it'll pass. So you're called White Stripe in the waves? Might as well call you Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. Not a bad name actually. I was speechless. First time I've seen someone proud to be a turtle. The hunchback grilled the fish fast and well. Brought them to the guards with a fleeting smile. Then headed back over and shoved half a corn bun in my hand. Swiped it this morning. Let's split it, eh? Why are you doing this? Just want your protection. I want to stay alive till we reach the border. Maybe kill a few more wild-dried people. And who knows, get a general's title. You're crazy. Dreaming of being a general? Keep dreaming. But I didn't train on his paid. Indice Yole. It's good to have something to hope for. So they saved away pure misery. We marched like crazy by day, and got yelled at by the guards at night. I was so hungry, it was all I could think about. Only survived on the corn buns the hunchback stole. I've been saving up my stat points. That's the only card I've got left. Day 10. Thick Brows suddenly called me into a room alone. There was hot braised beef on the table. The smell made my stomach cramp up. I took a bite right in front of me, then tossed the rest on the floor like he was feeding a dog. Eat. No thanks. I won't eat leftovers thrown at me. Ah, a dead man still playing tough? Mess with me again, and I'll show you how we deal with people. We'll see. A new group joined us. Over 50 more people squeezed into a web-packed cell. It was worn out and falling apart. JOST sat down. When the hunchback handed me 2 more corn buns, I reached for them, but a dirty hand snatched them away. It was a one-eyed guy. He ate the buns right in front of me, then stared at me, picking a fight. Not bad. Tastes pretty good. Just say it as a tribute to me. The hunchback tried to take them back, but got kicked by the one-eyed guy. I took it when the guards bullied me, but a fellow prisoner stepped in on me. What are you looking at? I've killed dozens of people, you know. Think I'm scared of you? So you think being a killer is cool? So one-eyed guy got mad. Swung a punch right at my face. I didn't dodge. I just threw a punch straight back at him. Crack. The sharp snap of a bone echoed in the cell. His arm just hung there, limp. The turn was totally done for. And this was the hand he used to kill dozens. You want to die? He dodged, then chopped down hard on his forearm. Another loud crack. His arm broke again. I collapsed on the ground, scared and crawling away. All that cockiness was gone from his chest. I stepped toward him and stared him down. Is this what a killer with dozens of lips looks like? Tough bones, ha, both his hands were useless now. He was in so much pain, his face twisted up. Ikami picked up that little iron rod, and weighed it in my hand, glanced at his body, like he was picking a spot to step. So one night guy lost it, begging me. He made it up. I'm not a killer. The stories about the Medes well eyes. It was just a bunch of apprentices. And he ended up here for accidentally stabbing my master. I don't have the guts to kill anyone. Did you do it on purpose? I have a way to check. You just say, if he can do it, he will. Simple go ask your master yourself. So one night man froze. Then yelled, you making fun of me? Even if he did, you won't. Cecil fell silent again. Everyone looked at me differently. They were scared of a madman. Only the hunchback looked complicated. He'd never seen me so ruthless. He sat back in the corner. Think he went too far? Boss, you just set an example. Now no one's gonna mess with us. No, I really just wanted to kill him. Didn't overthink it. The hunchback went silent. Only he knew he meant it. I needed to let up steam after holding it in so long. Glanced at my stats. Fasciclas 2 y 3. And la 0 y 3 attribute points left. 0 de enero is not much. But at least I got some out. Next morning, bright and early, thick brows came to check the cell. The moment I walked in, I saw the one-eyed guy dead. I looked pissed, but didn't say a word. Didn't even serve breakfast. Just ordered everyone to move out. The whole group marched in silence. No one dared make trouble now. I was still hungry, but with the system's help, I kept up just fine. BNON. We stopped to rest in a mountain valley. A few wild pear trees on the mountain. Not quite ripe yet, but the fresh smell was driving everyone crazy. They sure looked tasty and refreshing. Someone got up the nap to ask thick brows, and surprisingly, the king up hill said yes. Once we got permission, the prisoners raced up the hill. They grabbed fruit and stuffed their faces. Soon only me and the hunchback were left behind. Almost everyone else ran up the hill. The hunchback started freaking out. Boss, look at those idiots. They're eating half and tossing half away. Such a waste. If you want to go, go. Let go up that, you bested. Only me and thick brows were left in the valley. We lacked this. Saya felt frozen. Finally stood up and walked over to me. You killed that guy last night, right? Why? I stole my van. Bullshit. So, you're challenging me. Afraid? What, you just like killing? That's right, if you enjoy killing so much, I'll make sure you live to the border. So you can kill all you want. Hey, explain yourself. Tiger can peace where you'll die. What's Tiger Guard camp? I tried to recall anything about it, and suddenly, thick brows blew a whistle toward the hill. Right after, the guards and prisoners started heading down. Once everyone gathered up, I ordered the exile team to keep moving. The prisoners, full of pears, were much more lively. Hunchback Burpedent came over. Boss, sorry, couldn't get you any pears. Hey Doc, ever heard of Naruto? Why is the boss asking about this? That's the execution battalion, basically hell for the condemned. No one's ever made it out alive. How did you know you escaped from the northern waste? The commander is called Mountain Tiger. He uses death row prisoners as Kenanfade. So the rate is the highest, but they also kill the most northerners. Anyway, that guy's a total lunatic. Gaulo Demon's face went ghostly pale. He gulped nervously. His voice was shaking. He just hopes he doesn't get sent there. But he just left after hearing that. Sounds good to me. Fits me pretty well. I'm serious. At that place, I can kill out in the open. And it's northern as I get to kill. The hunchback looked at me like he was crazy. I saw the madness in my eyes. The hunchback fell silent. Yeah, for a psycho killer like me, that's paradise. The dick rode off as he sat on his horse, giving me a cold stare, with an eager look on his face. A cold smack at the corner of his mouth. Doesn't know how to stay alive. On the Yurin Tiger Battalion. You'll have your time to cry. A month later, the team reached the edge of the northern border. The wind reeked of blood. That's the smell of the battlefield. The farther north we went, the more bodies there were. Some were imperial soldiers, some were northern barbarians, and some poor guys in death row uniforms. Most were beheaded. The death row guys were too scared to look up, afraid they'd see their own future. The hunchback got really quiet too. A few days later, outside the camp, a guard took off his shackles. He managed the saddest looking smile ever. He patted his shoulder. His shoulders just slumped. Without looking back, he dragged himself into the camp. That figure was basically a farewell. The rest followed me toward Tiger Battalion. Only Diaz left in the group. The officer with bushy brows pointed with his feet. The other death row guys looked at me, gloating, like he was as good as dead. He followed with a blank face. On the way, the thick-browed officer tossed me a bag. Roast beef inside. Save it for your next life. He gave a cold laugh, tossed it right back at him. He put it away. It's full of mede. Got some backbone, ha. This was his final test. If I did anything, maybe I'd go to Arengale camp. But doing what he did, I'm only headed for Tiger Battalion set and dead. Just what he wanted. At night, Seofas tied me up really tight. Then he went straight to sleep. In the middle of the night, of beats woke me up. After doubling my physique, my senses are sharper than any animals. Don't move. They're Northern cavalry. Untie me or we're both dead. No way, the chains will make noise. Seofas suddenly held me down. We both lay in the grass, barely daring to breathe. Seof beats got even closer. Shaking the ground, I started panicking and froze in place. Seof beats slowly faded away. I let out a breath. Now you can untie me. They're gone, why bade? What if they circle back? Shouted Jinx out mouth. Before the words left my lips, a loud shout came from above. Who's out there? Show yourself. Seof's face turned green. He didn't even have time to curse. Those barbarians really hadn't left. Untie me, do you wanna die together or what? Seofas gritted his teeth and pulled out the key. Just as he unlocked the chains, shadows sounded us. Vise moonlight. He could see their town-like bodies. The hunchback was gone. These northern guys were built like bears. Standing before these savages, he looked as skinny as a chick. He gulped. He thought, this is it for me. In the darkness, the savages kept swords flashed cold light. He saw 3 men, 3 giants like towers. Their muscles were like granite. That's the power wiping out Imperial troops. They hadn't noticed me yet. He started figuring out how to run. That crazy officer suddenly drew his sword and rushed out. What are you standing down for? Fight if you want alive. He guessed, but had to join in. Then you. Give me some points. Point was failed. Reason, host is too ugly. Come on, system. If your host yes, no one's gonna find you a system wife. Pointed it successfully. Sea de tus ceballas, one their swords at me. A wave of warmth hit me. My powers edged through my whole body. I gripped my iron chain and charged forward instead of retreating. Punched right onto a blade. Clang metal clashing. Sparks flew. Two ceballas got knocked back 3 steps, but I stood my ground, steady as a mountain. Seofase was stunned. Efe got his moves. How's a central guy this strong? Ask the king up hell yourself. Seseba just was shocked. He didn't bother talking, just started beating them down. Yeah, I'm strong, but without a good weapon, couldn't finish them quick. Seofase yelled from the side. Finish it quick, don't drag it out. Give me your blade. Catch. A broadsword came whistling over. He cut it in one hand, swung it right back. Snap's second blade broke apart. That savage looked terrified. Before I could react, he chopped his head off. Kill count 1. A tribute point awarded, anda. Seade Seba charged at me, Ezra. He went besek, slammed the blade down, and split him in half, sword and all. Seofas just stared. This isn't a fight, it's a total slaughter. Celestevach realized and ran for it. Tendent bolted, whistling for his horse. A black horse shot out and carried him away. Crap, he's going to get hurt, not gonna try to chase me. I can't outrun a horse, so I just stopped, gathered all my strength, and held the broadsword, WHOSH, SPLURT. The long blade pierced his back, blood sprayed everywhere, but I didn't fall off, just stuck to the saddle, vanishing into the darkness. Seofase was furious. Great, now he got away. System prompt, kill count 1. I just dusted my hands. Relax, he's dead for sure. We can't stay here. Had to travel through the night. By sunrise, we finally met an Imperial patrol. They pointed us toward Tiger Battalion. Those cavalry guys looked at me, like they was seen a dead man. After crossing a hill, the Tiger Guard died. I hadn't even entered yet, when the overwhelming stench of blood almost made me puke. Hanging from the main gate beam, were rows upon rows of severed heads from the wild tribe. Some were already rotting with holes. Cross-pecked the flesh above. I swallowed hard. The tiger really has a neck for decaying. Sedic browed off as a sneered. What, scared already? Too late. I grinned. Scared? Not at all. I lapped this place. 2 big guys blocked the entrance. When they had it was a death throw in me. Theirs got sharp. Ah, here comes an enemy shield skin to die. So skinny, how many hits can you take? Be grateful, Celeste Betch is all dead. let's go, y entered the camp, screams echoed everywhere. As you wild tried members were tied to stakes, being tortured. Their skin was split open. The Dick crowd of us handed me up to some soldiers, and walked away. Stay here, and don't cause trouble. The soldiers took me to a dark cell, then shoved me in and locked the door. It was pitch black inside the cell. I just took a step and tripped. I looked down. It was a corpse, already stiff. No wonder. So that's what happened last time. Turns out they died here. The soldier came back again. Guessing yes, he dragged the body out. Cecil fell back into darkness. I leaned into the corner, thinking this place's reputation is well deserved. Even the cell comes with corpses. Too tired, I drifted off to sleep. Half the sleep, half the wake. I suddenly felt the cell door open. The Dick crowd of us appeared at the door. Regretted it? I rubbed my eyes. Not sure why he suddenly asked that. About what? Everything? No regrets, and nada. Didn't say anything else. I tend to leave. Wait, why didn't you kill me along the way? Why would I kill you? Isn't someone after my life? You wanna know WHO? I'm all ears. Said I don't need to know. Hey, that's not cool. I'm about to die. Can't you at least tell me why? And stop testing me. Beef, by the way, I don't eat beef. Also, I owe you a knife. I'll get you a better one next time. Seofase kept walking, with a mocking smile on his lips, shook his head and left. I was alone in the cell again. I opened my system panel. Man, this place is perfect for leveling up. Only been here a few days, and I've already saved up so much. Points left, 1.7. Waited till night. Cecil door opened. A few blooded people came in. They ignored me, just found their own spots and sat down. Listing was a skinny old man, carrying a lantern. It was all clean. Hey, Anobi, baby griega man of soft skin. So, what did you do? So man sat beside me with a friendly smile. Let's not talk about the past. Names will change, but we don't use real names here. Just nicknames. You can call me Skinny Magang. I grinned. Alright, then call me Wan. Little Sue. Interesting. So where you all go? Why you all bloody? Went hunting on the grasslands. Here, that means killing northern Wastelanders. INODDD. Looks like none of us are dumb. Just then, a soldier delivered a big basket of buns and a jug of wine. Skinny Magang said, "You're new. Today you can just take whatever. From tomorrow, linear pie kill count. No kiss, no food. I like this rule. Might makes right." I grabbed 5 big meat buns. Behind me, a huge guy like a toy grabbed 10 buns, and downed half a jug of wine in one go. Next was a woman with a heavy chest, and a bright red flag painted on her face. She took 2 buns, looked at the wine bucket with distaste, and left. Skinny McGinty's butterfly. Eat more, or you won't get enough nutrients. A crisp sun broke the dark. Then a pale, handsome young man came in, picking up a bun with delicate fingers. I gave my goosebumps. Decided I'd keep my distance from that pretty boy. Lest was a little guy wrapped in a black robe. WHO dove into the basket and devoured food like crazy. Skinny Magang explained. Don't worry, he's a good kid, just eats messily. After swallowing my bun, I thought, wow, this place really has all sorts. Skinny Magan sipped his wine and started introducing everyone. Big guys Dayan meste abasaden gang. Everyone in his gang is dead. Butterfly escaped from a brothel. When she kills, the flower on her face dances like a butterfly. That pretty boy is a prince's favorite. Got locked up for hooking up with a princess. Pretty boy screamed in protest. Seduced me. Then why is he so pale? Kidney problems? Having kidney issues here is impressive. But the little guy is the worst of. His master was an evil cultivator. Turned him into that freaky mess. I killed his master but never left. Just stayed here. I couldn't help but marvel. As for me, I'm just an old man whose boots with poison. Butterfly sneered. Old Ghost Voodoo calls himself an ordinary man? What a joke. Pretty boy chimed in, keep away from him, or you'll get poisoned. I was shocked. Guess there's a meste among us. Skinny Magang chuckled. Don't listen to their nonsense. The only reason I'm here is probably because Princess Kingfen saw my stuff. Skinny Magang spit out his wine. Butterfly left in the dark. Skinny Magang nodded. Then you deserve to be here. Come on, I'm the one who lost out here. So, what's your specialty? I love killing. Let me handle the medes from now on. Alright, up to you. Nothing else happened that night. Next morning, a soldier brought another basket of buns. Everyone lined up as usual. I went to the back of the line. Skinny Magan handed me 5 buns. Little guy saved this for you. I looked at him in surprise, and added, still eating. The door opened. Everyone quickly finished their buns and followed. A guy with a goatee came in. Everyone quickly finished their buns and followed. The goatee brought us to a tent full of weapons. I tossed an account book to Skinny Magang. Keep track, no problem. The North's been restless lately. Go check what they're up to. One credit if you find out. Bring back a live one. to credits. Also, the all with that one. Gouty left after saying that. He was totally confused. Chef, what kind of code are you speaking? Skinny Magan grinned and said, you'll get it soon. Everyone packed up to head out. Skinny Magan finished. Then everyone started moving. Big Guy picked up a spike club as tall as him and threw it on his shoulder. He was stand watching it. That club must weigh hundreds of pounds. Big Guy is really strong. Meanwhile, Ceci Clidot took a dark iron bar. When he saw him stroking it lovingly, he got goes a bumps all over. Butterfly took a long whip, with the wet facing barbs on it, made me shake my head. No wonder she was from a brothel. Even her weapons fleshy. Only the short guy is left. He walked up to the shelf, picked up a box. He walked over to Skinny. He pointed at the box and asked, is that your weapon? What's inside? Ah, that's my box. There are some fun things inside. And he doesn't need a weapon. The short guy held out his hand. Wait a little. The sharp shine up his nails seemed to say, this is my weapon. Y-N-O-D-D-D. Then he looked around, started picking out my own weapon. A big saber cut my eye, because that saber looked a lot like the one the bushing rode off as a lost. He picked it up and looked it over. My suspicion grew. How could there be two sabers that looks all alike? You like it, huh? It was just put on the shelf yesterday. Looks like fate brought you two together. Where did this saber come from? No idea. I brought it in yesterday. Skinny pointed at the short guy and he got it. Looks like this is probably that saber the bushing route guy brought in. Never thought it would end up back in my hands. Fate works in strange ways. Islanda saber over my shoulder. Everyone else picked out their weapons too. Then we all left the tent. Outside, a bald guy was standing on the open ground. Behind him was an neat and intimidating tiger guard unit. The bald guy was coming out. He waved at the tiger guards behind him. Let's move. The bald guy jumped up and took the lead. Skinny led a few people, following right behind. The tiger guards were right behind them. He stared at the bald guy and whispered, why is there a monkey in the camp? As soon as he finished saying that, he suddenly felt a strong killing intent coming from the bald guy, but with Skinny's chuckle. That feeling disappeared instantly. Don't say weird stuff. I was just born this way. He's got nothing to do with Buddha. Y-N-O-D-D-D. Didn't ask more, but he kept glancing at that bald head until the sun broke through the morning mist. He had to squint my eyes. The glare of his head was seriously too much. Just then, the bald guy stopped. He got off his horse and went over to Skinny. 3 white tribesmen were found here yesterday. Which direction did Retroat's group come from? No idea. When we got here, they were already dead. 2 of them died right here. Their heads were split open. Skinny nodded. The bald guy got back on his horse and kept going. We traveled for a while longer. This time, the bald guy stopped by a small paddle. He didn't get close to it, just pointed at it with his feet. Said 3 scouts wanted their horses there. Then headed east. Our guys lost them after that. When the scouts crossed a swamp, they suddenly sped up. Our guys couldn't keep up. Skinny nodded again. He said, you all wait here. We'll go check it out. The bald guy nodded. Skinny took my group away from the team. Once I couldn't see the bald guy anymore. He asked, aren't they going to run off? No one else answered me. Like it was a stupid question. Only Skinny grinned. You wanna run? Where could you go? Senpai and the North both want you. Stay quiet. Yeah, I can go anywhere. If I run, I'm a wanted man in the Empire. I'm a foreigner in the North. He looked up at the pale sky, feeling annoyed. With all this well, I can't go anywhere. If you really want to run, you could leave right now. We just say you died. But if they catch you again, we'd all be dead too. He left. You're underestimating me. I'm here to kill people. As long as I haven't had enough of killing, I'm not going anywhere. Skinny nodded approvingly. Except there are 2 sentries up ahead. Go with Jan Mesterwick. Take them out. The stoic guy rolled his eyes. Seems like he's accepted the nickname Jan Mesterwick. He looked around, confused. He said, where are the sentries? How come I don't see any? I don't see them either. He just told me about it. Skinny said while pointing at the short guy next to him. He asked, when did he say anything? He didn't hear a thing. When you were laughing just now. He pointed up ahead, then held up 2 fingers. My jaw nearly hit the floor. No way, that works too? You got upset more on the battlefield. Not just keep an eye on the enemy, but also learn to work with your teammates. You can learn all that later. Go take care of business fast. He quietly followed Jan Mesterwick up ahead. Sure enough, soon he saw 2 horses grazing up ahead. TRBH o RSS don't wear saddle sorbets. At first glance, they look wild, but their owners are usually close by. Jan Mesterwick pointed to make sure he saw it. Northern tribesmen, even pointed out a small pit next to the horses for me, telling me the tribesmen were hiding there. INODDD, Jan Mr. Weekendy, moved in from both sides toward the pit. As he crept closer, he quietly said my stats. STETCOP, remaining stat points, 1.6. A warm rush filled my body. What is this food? No way, it's that precious supply. He licked my lips, gripped my saber tight and charged ahead. Off in the distance near the paddle, Jan Mestevic jumped in surprise. Weren't we supposed to sneak up? How's this guy just charging right in? Jan Mestevic was about to bail. Plans changed. Got a ditch teammate. Seadis, watching us from afar, didn't seem phased at all. Skinny was still smiling. Big guy and the short one didn't care about what was going on up front. Only Butterfly was muttering softly. It seems normal enough. Too bad he's out there. Skinny left and said, don't be too quick to judge. Let's wait and see. Things on the battlefield can change in a flash. Jan Mestewick was busy running off, while he was busy charging in. As soon as Jan Mestewick remembered his Saiyan club, a scream echoed from up ahead. Jan Mestewick started mourning for me. He's never seen fighting like this. Northern folks aren't so easy to deal with. You can't just charge straight in like that. But when Jan Mestewick walked up to Butterfly, I found him staring up ahead, shocked. Stop looking. That kid probably died pretty badly. Too bad he just got here yesterday. Butterfly got Wicklet off. Look. Man, that kid's a beast. Wicklet turned his head confused, then his jaw dropped in shock. He was standing by the pit, covered in blood. Right in front of me was a barbarian split in half. The barbarian's face was still boiling with anger, but his body slowly tipped over. He wiped the blood from my face. Then someone darted out behind me, another barbarian, but he didn't charge at me. Era straight for the warhorse. He was obviously trying to get away, like I'd let that happen. He kicked off the ground and dashed at him. I swung my broadsword right at him. The barbarian barely got there, and my sword was already coming down. The blade fueled by my power, and my power riding the blade's momentum. I slashed at him, using killing intent. One soft, wet sound later, the barbarian and his horse were chopped in two. My Sistema Let's sounded back to back. Kill count, 1. Stat bonus, 0.5. He stood there, looking like a blood-soaked demon. He was la venive iminata vite. Wicklet's Johan open. I could fit the iron rats in there. I gulped and stared blankly. Then I blurted out. What a brute. Skinny horse just left. Told you so. Don't rush to judge. Flower Butterfly said with a complicated look. Really didn't estimate him. He's almost as strong as Big Guy now. Skinny horse shook his head. No, they're not the same. Big Guy's spike mace weighs a few 100 pounds. It's not just about strength. Big Guy rarely chimes in, but he did. Yeah, it's different. If it were me, they'd be meat patties by now. When Big Guy mentioned meat patties, Little Guy stuck out his dark red tongue and licked his lips. Actually looked hungry, finally closed his mouth. I'd already come back. Blood was all over me now, but he didn't care. Instead, he grabbed the cloth and carefully wiped my broadsword. Skinny horse grinned and walked over. Nice job. If I got to keep someone alive in the rush, I scratched my head awkwardly. Hey, they were just two lockouts. Skinny horse didn't blame me, so I felt relieved. But it did feel like everyone was looking at me weird. Flower Butterfly was alright. His face always looked pretty cold anyway, but Wicklet kept giving me strange looks. He could even sense a bit of danger. I mean, not even fighting those two barbarians felt this intense. I realized the IDNT. He shot Wicklet a questioning look. I instantly smiled. Ah, you're pretty tough. Took them out all by yourself. He wasn't bad. Wicklet ditched melee, so he was fine going solo. At least he didn't compete for XP. He grinned and said, next team, let me just handle it alone. No Kando, you can't do all the work. No ways, he liked fighting. While we chatted, Skinny horse broke in. Cut it short, their scouts are dead. They'll figure it out soon. We gotta find their main force, fast. Everyone nodded. Then we hit the road again. This team, no aim was etching. Barbarian scouts showed up, so their main troops are nearby. From past experience, barbarian scouts usually a few miles around their army, so we should run into them pretty soon. Sure enough, about 15 minutes later, Little Guy suddenly raised his hand. He let out a low growl, aiming ahead. Didn't need Skinny horse to explain this team. I knew barbarians were up ahead. Their main force is here. Everybody get ready. With Skinny horse as order, everyone started checking their weapons. Big Guy gripped his spike mace. and started stroking his iron rat. Skinny horse opened the bags and little guy's back, and took out a small red bottle. Sprinkled the powder and fly butterflies with. Little guy had no weapon, so he just licked his nails. I'm probably the most normal out of all of us. I finished wiping my broadsword clean. Once everyone was set, Skinny Horse led us to the right front. I was kinda hyped, only been out half a day, and already picked up one's dead point. Big thanks to those barbarians, since I see more of them soon. But before Giving spotted the army, shouts started echoing from a distance. We climbed over a hill, and saw battle raging below. I took a closer look. It was Empire soldiers fighting barbarians. The Empire's army was a mix, soldiers and regular folks together. I spotted familiar clothes on some of those people. They were death row prisoners. Right now the Empire officers were making the prisoners charge. Even though the prisoners had no weapons or armor, they were forced to rush forward. If they dared them back, someone would bring down a broadsword right on their heads. Decision means instant death, but charging forward, at least there's a tiny chance. No choice for these prisoners, so they ran at the barbarians. The barbarians didn't hesitate. They rode their horses and swung their kept swords. Just one charge wiped out most of the prisoners. The rest just broke down. Some just went blank and knelt there, staring at the headless corpses, spraying blood. Their wild spun the next second, and soon they were headless too. Some panicked and fled. Some ran for the Empire lines, but were greeted by a cold blade. Others ran for Segre's lands, hoping to escape this hell. But the barbarians got up right away, and killed them too. The prisoners were no match for the barbarians. They were wiped out in no time. I stood on the hill silently, watching. If he were just a regular guy, I'd be like man that fell too. Now the Empire troops finally moved. After all the prisoners died, the soldiers made their move, but they didn't charge at the barbarians. They got on their horses, and bolted. I froze. That's it? They're just running? Aren't they supposed to charge? A few silver pieces a month. Who'd risk their necks for that? The human shields are dead. So retreat makes sense. What and now? Remember to leave their leaders alive. Suddenly, a wild roar blasted in my ear. Big guy spun his arm out, and held little guy, sending him flying hard. Little guy screeched midair, landed smoothly, and sprinted toward the decennial force. Big guy behind him charged forward like crazy, each step caving yards at a time. Swung his spiked mace, just like Wicklet handled his iron rat. While I was marveling at these weirdos, an ear-piercing leaf ran out next to me. I jumped in shock, then to see little flowers blooming on Flower Butterfly's cheek. A split second later, it turned into a blood red butterfly. Then Flower Butterfly really flew like one, chasing after the fest too. Wicklet scotted up to me. His lightning skill is salad, right? I ignored him, just roared and charged downhill. I froze, then ran after me. Skinny Horse stayed up on the hill, just smiling as he watched us go. The barbarians below panicked at our weird shouts, but as they looked up, only saw a handful coming down the hill, all grinning like idiots. These few people couldn't even put a dent in the Desolate tribe. They only sent a few dozen people to deal with us. The rest went off to collect the loot we just seized. But in the next moment, the Desolate tribe stopped laughing. Their squad was instantly scattered. Little Dab turned into a beast, and pounced fiercely on a Desolate tribesman. It opened its huge mouth, and bit right into the man's neck. Blood spattered out instantly. Little Dab was covered in blood, but didn't care at all. Instead, he leapt at another tribesman. That guy started convulsing non-stop. His life was slipping away. A huge mace finished him off. Halfway up the hill, he saw Big Dummy kill one. The Desolate tribe started shouting in panic. But before he could run down the hill, Butterfly also made a move on the side, moving like a real butterfly. It took onto Desolate tribesmen. The tribesmen looked angry and fierce, but Butterfly grinned happily. He cracked his whip, hitting a shirtless tribesman hard, but all it did was leave a bloody stripe on him. That kind of wound clearly wasn't fatal. The pain only riled up the tribesmen, and they opened their mouths wide, reaching to grab Butterfly. But the next second, they realized their hands had gone numb. Red streaks spread, starting from the whip marks. They spread insanely fast, and in a blink covered the tribesmen's whole bodies. The next second, the streaks exploded. The tribesmen turned into pop balloons. Everyone around was terrified by the dying look. They were scared out of their minds. They ran from Butterfly's whip as fast as they could. A chain reaction broke out instantly. Everyone near Butterfly dropped to the ground. They rolled all over, screaming in pain, but they couldn't escape death. All around Butterfly, people hit the dead. They screamed and breathed in agony, but they couldn't stop death from coming. That's when he finally died. He grabbed my blade, and swung at the nearest tribesman. But it was already too late. Before my blade could hit, the tribesman had already died. He didn't have a system notification. He was furious. He let out a weird yell and rushed at the Hades. As it ended on, Big Dammy and Shorty had already killed a bunch more. One attacked. Seade finished them off. They were super fast. Now get why. Big Dammy always gets his food fast, and Shorty is always last in line. Turns out he always steals the kills. He was insanely jealous, but there was nothing he could do, because those two work so well together. They're just too good as a team. He couldn't even get a 10 if he wanted. Meanwhile, Butterfly Sweep was lightning fast too. Anyone hit by the whip was almost instantly tending to apaga la black blood by the poison. By the time my blade landed, the guy was already dead. He worked like crazy, and got nothing for it. He yelled in frustration. You guys are all mine. Suddenly, he spotted a tribesman in the distance. The tribesman was far from Big Dammy and Butterfly, so he hadn't been caught yet. He let out a weird howl and charged the tribesman like a wolf at the ship. He swung my blade up in excitement, going straight for his head. Suddenly, an iron rod flew in from nowhere, hitting the tribesman square on the head. He froze on the spot, looking in the direction it came from. He saw Weakling Prince grinning at me. How's that? He told you he wouldn't let you alone next to me. He spitted Weakling Prince. Demite, mumbling curses. He rushed at another tribesman, leaving Weakling Prince scratching his head. He just helped him out. So why doesn't he appreciate it, eh? Now we have no time to talk to him. I'm about to go crazy with frustration. There are so many Kispepecs laying out, but he can't get a single one. He started guessing. These people are just too much. They won't leave me even one. Now that I stopped the tribesmen are almost gone. I'm out of options. So I looked toward the main force of the tribe. Then he yelled and charged in. The desolate tribe had picked up all the loot, and was about to withdraw. This time, their target was the Empire's supply wagons. The tribes don't bring supplies to war, so they loot for all their food and drink. Up in the Northlands, the only thing they can ride is the Empire, so they raid every few days. That way they get supplies, and annoy the Empire too. A win-win for them. The squad leader was named Bolt. This time, brought dozens of men. It was easy to snatch up a few wagons of food, as long as they got the supplies some. They'd completed the mission. But right after they chased off the Empire's guards, a few enemies charged down from the hills. At first, Bolt didn't care about them at all. He just sent over a dozen men to block them, while the rest held off the wagons. But right after he set things up, he realized his men were almost wiped out. Most of the ones he'd sent were dead. There was even one Empire soldier, charging right at their main force. That made Bolt furious. Such a gorgeous imp. Bolt squeezed his legs, and his warriors charged straight at me. He raised his kept sword, ready to kill me in one blow. He was still scrambling for XP when he saw someone charging out from the ranks, headed straight for me. He got super excited. This XP came right to my door. No way me letting him get away. With that in mind, it ain't even feste. Bolt's horse was also closing in. He raised my machete, and so did Bolt. He was grinning like a maniac, and Bolt looked cold-blooded. There was a loud clang. A blood splashed. He was ready to watch his sword break, but reality let me down. His sword was totally fine after that hit. Bolt was also shocked. His blade was a gift from the tribe chief. It had always cut through Empire weapons before, but this time was different. We both had the same thought. This guy is strong. He's got serious strength. His blade is tough too. He started getting careful. He used to go all out. A normal peasant's arm would be shattered, but the nomads and horseback are just fine. Bolt is really confident about his strength, plus he's got his horse's speed helping him. This strike should have seriously hit the Imperial guy, but that's not what happened. The opponent is still standing there. He didn't even take a single step back. Both of us had a quick flash up out in our ways. Why? If the blade can cut through, then just attacks a man. People aren't stuff as swords. My blade doesn't lose momentum. It swings straight toward Bolt's neck. Bolt tries to use the force to knock me down, but when he sees the cold gleam on my blade, he suddenly pulls back. He leans back all at once, even though he didn't hit him this round. I've already gained the upper hand in momentum. The evenly matched situation starts to shift, but this shift is gone in a flash. When Bolt gets his horse sorted and faces me, his aura comes right back. He licked my lips. This is a strong enemy. Nothing like the Eve is no met. If we kill him, I'll definitely get lots of attribute points. Bolt's bloodlust is rising. He hasn't met a skilled Imperial warrior in ages. If he kills the men in front of him, he'll really hit the Empire. What happened just now was just both sides testing each other. No cans are ill deadly moves. Kill. Bolt's body is super strong, but that's not what he relies on the most. His true ace is his combo attack. If he misses the first strike, he can use his powerful body again, and swing another blade. He calls it the returning blade. He's killed countless Imperials with this move. He's really confident in this attack. My biggest asset isn't my strength either. It's my system. If my can't strength only matches his, then I'll just level up. I think quickly. Suddenly, a rush of warm floods my body. Level up successful. Switch emphasis class 4 y 9. Remaining attribute points, las 0 y 2. I only left 0.2 attribute points, and put everything else into constitution. The next second, I feel like my body is welling up. This power is unreal. In just an instant, they completely changed my body. Then my body goes back to normal. It's like nothing happened, but I know, I'm totally different from before. I used to be twice as strong as an average person. Now I'm 5 times stronger. And this boost isn't just a simple multiplication. My overall power just went up exponentially. This instant upgrade didn't catch Bolt's attention. He's thinking only about his finishing move. Nobody else noticed me either. Everyone's busy fighting. They're just watching the battle out of the corner of their eye. Only one peasant frowned at my sudden change. It was Limor Sepole, standing atop the hill. No way. Did he see Tron? Whilst Limor Sepole talks to himself, Bolt has already driven his horse to attack me. I grin, and charge forward even faster than before. Bolt's pupils shrink. How is my speed so much faster now? It's almost as fast as him on horseback. But Bolt doesn't have time to think. Once you release the arrow, there's no turning back. It just needs to deliver his perfect strike. Bolt makes coldly. Even if you're strong, you can touch my special move. Did he dodge? I charge straight at Bolt. My speed is pushed to the max. I feel my blood boiling. I'm excited by the fight, but even more by my upgraded power. So this is the power? Let me enjoy it. I shout loudly, raise my big blade, and slash straight at Bolt. Bolt shows no fear. He also raises his blade and charges. Bolt already made up his mind. When our blood escalates, that's when he'll use his finishing move. He's already picturing the win. His cup blade will spin out and step into my back. That's when the winner will be decided. But will it really go as Bolt imagined? When our blades clash, something strange happens. Bolt feels a sharp pain in his hand. Then he watches as his big blade gets chopped in half, and his arm gets its veins shattered by the huge recoil. Blood splatters instantly. Bolt stares at everything before him. His mind can't process it. How could this happen? But it's too late. All that's left in his world is my first grin. As soon as the thought enters Bolt's mind, it gets frozen forever. After shedding Bolt's blade, my big blade kept its momentum and slashed straight for Bolt's head. Flesh can't compete with steel. Bolt's head is neatly sliced off. His horse carries his body away. His head rolls across the grass. He has a system notification. I lick my lips, satisfied. Kill count 1. Attribute point más 1.0. Bolt sure was a main leader of the nomads. The reward points are genius. I don't even look at his corpse on the ground. I didn't charge into the nomad's ranks. I've got endless energy now. It's all thanks to the system's rewards. I need to use this momentum and kill more nomads. The nomads in the distance had a commotion and start to panic. Their team leader died with his eyes open. No one cares about the supplies anymore. They start running in every direction. I get anxious. I just killed one. Why are you all running now? Ridiculous. I stamp hard, and I shoot forward. I raise my big blade, and after landing, I strike the back of a nomad that run. That nomad didn't even make a sound, just returned to the arms of the eternal heaven. I laughed out loud, happy. And chase after another target. But now all the nomads had mounted their horses, and scattered to escape, right when I was guessing. Damn, this is really frustrating. I suddenly spotted a figure hiding near the supply cart. Someone got left behind. I didn't hesitate, just jumped over. I raised my blade and slashed at his back. I must have heard the noise behind him. In a panic, I actually tripped and fell. I turned his head back in terror. Turns out, it was an old, wrinkled face. I didn't let him go just because he was old. On the contrary, I struck even harder to end him quick. The tall tribesman was so scared. Even his wrinkles seemed to smooth out. I shut his chest, bracing for death. Right in that tense moment, a voice suddenly echoed from the distance. Spare his life. We still got a report back. I stabbed my blade just into me. But the sharp blade still struck the old tribesman's head. I let out a terrible scream and collapsed. I didn't bother to check on him, because I didn't hear any notification from the system. So I figured he wasn't dead. The big guy ended his head finished up already. All that was left was the tribesman. Everyone started moving toward me. La killer on left hand said, "Get at me, little Sue, you're ruthless." The big guy was picking meat scraps of his spiked fruit. Shorty was busy licking his hands. Flate was silent, but he looked at me so fondled. He was the only one staring at the unconscious old tribal man, feeling pretty unwilling. He's just an old man. What could he possibly know? Maybe he should have just finished him. Skinny Horse came over and said, "No, he's their shaman. We'll take him back as proof." "A shaman, ha? Some kind of sacrifice guy?" Lady Killerson shook his head and smiled. "You never had up shamans. At least you've had up one stepping off a horse, right?" "All right, let's chit-chat." I still shook my head. Skinny Horse spoke up again. "Take him. Let's regroup." The big guy went up, tied the shaman up nice and tight, and slung him over his shoulder. Shorty just sat right on the shaman. No one cared much about the mess here. We all headed back the way we came. He was a little confused, but didn't ask anything. Soon after, we saw Valdis group, Spatidus returning, and instantly rode up to meet us. Skinny Horse didn't say a word, just greeted Baldo with a polite gesture. Baldo nodded back, then waved to his men. The big guy shifted sleeping Shorty to his other shoulder, then handed the shaman to a couple of soldiers. Baldo took the lead again, and Skinny Horse led us behind him. Two soldiers walked the shaman along. Our group slowly marched toward Tigemite camp. We left at sunrise, but we returning at sunset. The dusklight spilled across the grasslands, like a golden sea. "It's really dazzling." I squinted my eyes. Not far ahead, Baldo's bald head was shining bright. Lady Killerson whispered in my ear, "Hey, how are you so strong? Did you practice some body hardening technique? Or do you have natural strength like the big guy? You're so skinny, but you're all muscle and no fat. Pretty surprising, honestly." Lady Killerson was acting super chatty, and talked to me non-stop the whole way. At first, I joked back a bit, but later just pretended not to hear. I mean, it just wouldn't stop. You answer one thing, and he'll ask you two more. The questions just never end. I was getting really annoyed. Finally, when he couldn't take it anymore, I turned to Flate and asked, "Is he always like this?" "He talks a lot when his kidneys are better." Flate shook his head. He was confused, not sure what Flate meant. "What's shitting got to do with kidneys?" Then he asked Skinny Horse, "Does medicine say Talcativenes is related to kidneys?" "Depends on who he's talking to." Skinny Horse smiled and shook his head. He was puzzled again. I kept thinking about it the whole way. How did this all become about me? What's his shit and kidney stuff got to do with me? Finally, just before we saw that I might camp, he got it. He suddenly jumped up and yelled, "Then you, get any closer, and I'll kill you." Then he sprinted away from Lady Killerson. HAWASNT even met. Just kept grinning. Now I finally realized why he's so nice to me. Turns out I've got his eye. It already seemed sketchy. So who knows what he's really into. While I kept my guard up on Lady Killerson, the group finally entered the Tigemite camp. The camp still looked just like it did when we left this morning. Only now, several of the stakes used to tie up the northern tribesmen were empty. I looked over, and saw blood dripping from the crossbeam above the main gate. Blood was dripping down. I pouted. Seems like nobody here is normal. Baldo didn't say much the whole way, but once we were inside Tigemite camp, he looked way more relaxed. He just came along for the ride and didn't do anything. Maybe he was just here to keep an eye on Skinny Horse and the others. Honestly, that felt pointless. Baldo led us to the same tent as this morning. Once everyone went in, he finally said we drill it, and dismissed his men. The Tigemite camp soldiers had the order, and quickly scattered. Skinny Horse brought everyone inside the tent. We all put our weapons and Derek in order. When Lady Killerson put his eye and clapped down, I looked super reluctant. Honestly, that grossed me out. I thought to myself, and while I was thinking, Goatee walked in, beard shaking. Everyone inside looked at him. He plopped down behind the table, took out a notebook, exhaled, and slowly asked, "How'd it go?" "You got a shaman, huh? All right, job's done." Goatee then reached under the table, and took out the little booklet I saw this morning. Not sure what he wrote in it. Even the shaman showed up. "I'm afraid there are bigger plays behind this. Give me some of that powder you made. The kind that makes people tell the truth." Skinny Horse turned down, pulled out a white bottle from the chest, and set it on the table. Goatee nodded. He finally looked up at the rest of us. When he looked at me, he showed surprise. "You actually came back." Skinny Horse just smiled, but Goatee stared at Lady Killerson. "Was it you? Have you always been protecting him?" "Him?" Kidney Weak Lord didn't say anything. I raised my eyebrows twice, hard. "Goatbeard, is he treating me like a boy too now?" Just as he was about to say something, Tin Horse dared to speak fast. "He's good. Next time, we'll bring him along." Interesting. Goatbeard straightened up. He looked at me again. This time, his gaze had a bit of scrutiny, and mostly curiosity. "All right then, What do you want? I pointed to myself and said, you're talking to me. Goatbeard nodded and said, yeah. What do you want? I replied instinctively. I don't want anything. Impossible. Everyone here wants something. Some want to clear their name, some want freedom, some want stability, and some want someone's life. So, what do you want? I understood Goatbeard was serious. After a moment of silence, he said, I want to kill someone. Anything else? Nothing else. Goatbeard stared at me for a long time. Suddenly, I left. I thought you wanted Princess Kingfin. My face instantly darkened. Looks like this old guy knows all my secrets. Then, Goatbeard pulled a booklet from under the table. I opened to a page. Asked, what name do you want to write? I didn't even think about it, and said Chachausu. Sesuasin crispy. Goatbeard picked up a pen, and wrote Chachausu on the paper. Then he said, from now on, you need to earn 1,000 merats. Once you've saved up enough merats, you'll be free. He instinctively asked. What does that have to do with you just asking me what I want? What's the connection? Goatbeard left and said, no connection. I was just curious, that's all. I was speechless. I thought it was something really important. Turns out, it was Goatbeard messing around. Goatbeard had already put the booklet away. Then horse bowed to him, then started walking out of the tent. Everyone else followed. I stared at Goatbeard for a moment. Then walked out of the tent. It was completely dark outside the tent. A soldier led us all back to the cell. Once everyone was locked in, the cell doors slammed shut. Everyone went back to their own spot. Then Horse also came to sit next to me. I had a piece of grass stuck in my mouth. He asked, what's the deal with that little mustache? Feels like he could strangle him with one hand. Then Horse chuckled, he's just an ordinary old man. Just as regular as me. After hearing Thin Horse say that, I actually got more interested in Goatbeard, because I know, Thin Horse isn't really just some ordinary old guy. So Goatbeard probably has a story too, but I didn't ask about Goatbeard anymore. I still had plenty of questions. I thought for a bit. So you guys work outside just to earn merats? That's right. What can they be used for? They help make your wishes come true. But I don't really have any wishes. Thin Horse left. Except, you'll have some eventually. What about that booklet? It's just a legend. What's Bald Guy's job? You can think of him as a web helper. For real? Last question. Do you think Kidney Wicklord has a thing for guys? Yeah, and now he's got his eye on you. Seriously? Guess. Just then, Cecil's door opened. A soldier came to deliver the food. Tonight, it's still buns and wine. Thin Horse got up and went to the big basket. I grumbled and got up too. It's still Big Dummy handing out the food. First, Butterfly. Second, Kidney Wicklord. Third, me right behind him. He's got his eye on you. Shorty still comes last. Kidney Wicklord turned with a smile and said, come stand in front of me. He's got his eye on you. He wasn't grateful at all. I'm fine in the back. Almost blew up right there. Just then, Thin Horse spoke up. Quit messing around. If you're not hungry, eat. The kid's still growing, and needs to eat antime. Shorty behind me let out a whimper. Seems like he's upset with me and Kidney Wicklord. I took a deep breath and calmed my anger down. Stood behind Shorty. Kidney Wicklord chuckled, like a kid who just pulled a prank. Then he took a van and went to the corner. Shorty rushed forward, grabbed the vans for me and Thin Horse, then dove right into the basket. I sat in the corner, frustrated, holding my van. Thin Horse sat next to me with the wine jug. Don't be mad. He's just all talk, no action. He's really trying to be friendly. I took a huge bite of the van and said, he's just a toad sitting on your foot. Doesn't bite, just a noise. If you can't shake it off, go teach him a lesson later. How would I do that? Should I just beat him up? What I cares about most is the Titan Rat. Figure something out with that. I chewed on the van, thinking hard, trying to figure out how to use the Titan Rat. But even after finishing the van, I couldn't come up with anything. I was mad now, just wanted something to vent on. So I reached out and grabbed Thin Horse's wine jug. Took several gulps. Thin Horse immediately got mad, snatched the wine jug back. You little punk. Why take it out on my wine? If you keep this up, I'll poison it. I wiped my mouth, and felt a little more relaxed. As for what Thin Horse said, I didn't pay it any mind. Messing around is just messing around. After eating and drinking, Cecil fell quiet. I leaned against the wall and drifted off. Maybe the wine kicked in. Or maybe I was just tired. I slept well. But in the middle of the night, I was suddenly woken up. I thought Kidney Clerk was going beast mode, coming to sneak up on me. But the cell door opened instead. I saw you open the cell door with a lantern. I just stood outside, didn't come in. I was confused, wondering what was going on now. Just then, Thin Horse spoke up next to me. Get up, it's work time. After Thin Horse said that, everyone in the cell started moving. Soon, everyone lined up and left the cell. The moon was shining bright outside. The whole camp looked like it was covered with a layer of white mist. It's pretty chilly out on the prairie at night. Man, it's cold. But my body doesn't care about that, no. The camp is totally silent, no. Clearly, the soldiers are all resting. But a few of us were called up. I'm a bit confused. No idea what we're supposed to do so late at night. Soon, we were brought to the tent from Ellie. Everyone silently picked up their weapons. I grabbed my broadsword too. Right then, Goatbeard walked in from outside the tent. This time, I didn't sit by the table. Instead, I handed a roll of sheepskin to Skinny Horse. Skinny Horse unrolled the parchment. I moved closer. So there was a map drawn on it. The priest said, "They've stored up a batch of food up north. Tonight, you guys are going to bend down their supply camp." Goatbeard got straight to the point. I just laid out a night's job right away. Skinny Horse was even more efficient. I just nodded and walked out. After a few of us left the tent, we saw Old Guy was already waiting outside with the soldiers. Both groups glanced at each other. No words were exchanged. The main group started heading out up Tiger Paw camp. I'm confused. The way we're taking orders tonight isn't like Ellie during the day. Wicked came over to me. I asked if he had something to say. I didn't even look at him. I turned away and said no. Get lost. Wicked didn't get mad. I started explaining things. Night missions aren't counted as regular tasks. They won't be written down in the records. Tonight, just do what you want. No one will know about this. I gave him a dirty look. Told him he's just making stuff up. Doesn't Bald Guy up front know? Don't the soldiers behind know? Wicked just left. I said, anyway, nobody knows. I feel like Wicked explained nothing. I still have no clue after he finished, but I'm still pretty excited about tonight's job. After all, Wicked said, tonight we can really let loose. While we marched, I checked out my system when I had a moment. 1.7 Right now my physique is 5 times better than normal. It's super easy for me to kill barbarian folks. Even that little leader from Ellie today was taken out with a single blow. So my strength is what I rely on most. Of course, also thanks to my weapon holding up. If my gear couldn't handle it, I'd lose half my fighting power. Just not sure how the system will evolve later. Will there be no options in the future? For now, you only have the physique option. So I put all my stat points into it. But honestly, I'm pretty satisfied right now. As long as I keep killing barbarians, I'll get stronger. OCRSTOFF. I'll deal with it later. The squad kept moving forward. No clue how long passed. Suddenly, clouds covered the sky. Visibility dropped fast around us. At this point, Bald Guy stopped. Then he got off his horse. Still didn't say a word. Just bowed to Skinny Horse. Skinny Horse bowed back. Then led us onward. Bald Guy and the soldiers quickly disappeared into the darkness behind me. That's when he finally dared to speak up. Where do we find the Royal Supply Camp? It's pitch black all around. Can't see a thing. Skinny Horse pointed at the short guy and said, just follow him. He looked down at the little guy leading the way and said, surprised, then, is this kid using war hex? Or has he got map hex? Wicked came up again. I said this kid is awesome. His senses are stronger than prairie wolves. I can detect movement in miles sound. INODDD. Didn't say anything else. The group kept marching quietly. Walked several more miles. The little guy suddenly stopped. He let out a low growl, pointing ahead. Skinny Horse quickly told everyone to get ready. I seriously asked what's the plan? Skinny Horse said seriously, improvise. He was speechless. We're about to attack. The barbarian supply camp. Skinny Horse's plan is way too casual. But Dades had no complaints. Everyone already had their weapons ready. Looks like they've done this before. Wicked came up again. Chauso. Let's team up this team. I'll make sure to keep you safe. He wanted to say no, but then, the little guy had already climbed onto Big Fool's shoulder, so I changed my mind. The Big Fool and little guy combo is seriously up, like a killing machine. No matter how hard he try, he can't match them, so teaming up with Wicked isn't a bad idea. Alright, I've got one condition. When it's team, I'll do the killing, you do the banning. You beat them have that. Then I'll finish them off. Wicked nada de sones y agreed, except Deal. Tonight, you won't kill anyone. All yours, you can have them all. In that, satisfied, he said I've got a name for our team. How about killing Ben? Before Wicked could answer, Butterfly Girl suddenly left. Vete call it capal team. Wicked clapped and cheered. That's a good one. He almost lost it. It's Skinny Horse hadn't spoken just then. He would have argued with Butterfly Girl. Enough, we're here. He had to drop it. He looked up ahead. A military camp appeared in the distance. Out in the dark night, it looked like a giant beast, quietly opening its bloody mouth. Ready for any unexpected guests, he grinned. Quickly activated my system. Started adding points. System notified points added successfully. That familiar feeling surged through me instantly. Just as he was about to charge in, the little guy on Big Fool's shoulder let out another low growl. Skinny Horse's face turned serious instantly. There's a pro inside, he said, surprised. That's what I said, Skinny Horse nodded. Plan changed. No more improvising. Everyone looked serious now. Skinny Horse started assigning roles. You two are in charge of breaking it. Make sure the supply camp goes wild. Skinny Horse pointed at Big Fool and the little guy. Big guy nodded. Little guy shouted excitedly. Looks like he really likes this plan. Skinny Horse pointed at Butterfly and said, you go start the fire. Black anyone who tries to put it out. Butterfly waved her whip. That meant she agreed. Now it was just me and Kidney Prince left. Skinny Horse pointed at the two of us and said, you guys come with me to take on that strong fight. What do I'm supposed to fight a pro right now? I'll go at the fire. I promise to burn all the supplies. I'll kill everyone. Kidney Prince teased, are you scared? Don't be. I'll keep you safe. I shot him a glare. Kidney Prince is so annoying. He's everywhere. MAKNGJ, OKs nonstop. Stop talking. Skinny Horse shook his head and said, no, you're not as agile as him. He wanted to argue, but Skinny Horse waved it off and said, enough. Skinny Horse gave the order, attack. Big Guy carried Little Black and rushed toward the supplies. Butterfly slipped into the darkness. He could only watch them leave. Then he picked up the bags unwillingly and followed Skinny Horse ahead. Kidney Prince saw what he was thinking. He grinned and said, don't worry. There are plenty of savages in the camp. You'll have your fill of fighting soon. He sighed. Hope Kidney Prince is right. Even though you envy everyone else's jobs, I have to put the big picture first now. Since Skinny Horse says there's a pro inside, we need to be careful. No more reckless moves. The three of us headed towards the Savage supply camp. Skinny Horse moved slowly. When we got halfway, the camp was already blazing. I licked my lips. Jealousy flashed in my eyes. Looks like Butterfly succeeded. Big Guy and Little Guy must be having a blast fighting, but the Savages reacted fast too. Horns sounded all over the camp. Savages were quick to mobilize. They joined the fight to drive out into the right away. In the central camp of the Savages, a muscular savage leader was listening to a report from his subordinate. Chief, unknown enemies are invading the camp. The savage in the tent was named Bujita. He was in charge here. Pretty bold. Dare to bend my supplies. Wipe them out. Got it, the subordinate replied, then left the tent. Bujita's face turned grim as he grabbed the weapon. He walked out. The camp was ablaze. Shouts from savages everywhere. Some were putting out fires. Some were chasing intruders. But the enemy was too quick. They could barely keep up. Couldn't even touch the enemy. Bujita's veins bulged in anger. He promised the Khan he would protect the supplies. He swore to keep everything safe. But now, everything was about to be destroyed. Bujita looked down for enemies. But it was chaos everywhere. He saw no enemies at all. At this moment, Little Guy was happily running wild in the camp. Evade time. The savages managed to gather some strength. Little guy jumped in and messed things up. Sesevaya's formation fell apart immediately. Before they could regroup, a mountain-like figure, best friend Sefaye, erased his spiked club and struck in front of him. Sebayas dropped left and right. Sesevaya's sweater fight, daring for their lives. These two enemies were like monsters, but just as they reached safety, a shadowy figure appeared silently. His big blood red. Eten Sevilla after Sevich, into pools of blood. Even though there were a top Sebayas, they couldn't handle this tree, no resistance at all. They could only watch helplessly, as their hard-won supplies bent to ashes. Little guy, in the heat of battle, rushed right up to Bujita, evered his teeth at Bujita, then ran for the camp entrance. Bujita roared loudly, swinging his weapon and chasing after. Thief, don't run. Take this. But little guy refused to stop. Attendant made a face at Bujita, then quickly leapt onto Big Guy's shoulders. Big Guy didn't stop either. They stuck to Skinny Horse's plan, only causing chaos, never fighting head-on. So, when they saw Bujita, they didn't stick around, quickly disappeared into the blaze. Bujita finally caught up. But this entrance, eso no sign of Big Guy and Little Guy, howled angrily at the sky. Just then, a cold wind cut off Bujita's roar. Skinny Prince and they finally reached the camp gate. Skinny Horse stood not far behind us, showing no interest in fighting. He was pent up with rage, finally so, as Sevich, he definitely wouldn't let him get away. Bujita's roar was interrupted. He was upset. He raised his axe blade, pointed at me and asked, "WHO are you?" HMPH. He slammed my big blade over my shoulder, spat on the ground, and said coldly, "You're dead." Bujita's face turned dark with anger. He raised his blade and charged. "Yeah, thief," he grinned, and shouted excitedly, "Ah, good timing." Then he dashed straight for Bujita. He was incredibly fast. My momentum was unstoppable in the night. Bujita was fast too, even though it was big. He moved with explosive power. A loud crash sounded before the supply camp. My big blade and Bujita's crescent blade clashed hard. I suddenly felt powerful force in my hands. My pupils shrank. Damn, what strength! Bujita's hands wasting in from the blow. It was surprised. My strength is wild. We each stepped back to shake off the impact. We eyed each other warily. I was really surprised. My body now is 5 times stronger than normal. Regular Sebayas are easy to kill, but this Sebaj took my blow head-on. What shocked me most? Normally I'd slice through a Savage's blade in one hit, but his weapon didn't break. He's definitely tough. No wonder Skinny Horse called him a top fighter. He got excited. How many attribute points is this guy with? Bujita was shocked by my strength too. It don't look special, but my strength was unexpected. After all, Bujita was always confident in his power, but now his pride was challenged. Bime, senpai guy. Bujita's battle spirit rose even higher. A wary enemy makes him even more excited. I wanted to take my head as a trophy. Both of us glared, gold light flashing in our ways. Bujita pushed off and charged. I yelled and rushed at him. Good. This time I used all my strength. I'm going to chop this Savage in half. But just as they were about to collide, a figure suddenly darted out beside me. That figure imitated my voice, intentionally low in its tone, making its voice sound ragged, before letting out a weird duck squawk. Take this. Mr. Puny charged at Bujita fast. Seayenrad in his hand, smashed hard toward Bujita's head. Bujita was focused on me, but then, a pale-faced kid attacked from the side. I had to quickly turn his glaive to block the kid's Seayenrad. Rad and glaive collided, without making a single sound. Not even a spark flew out, only a strange cry was heard. Mr. Puny recoiled, clutching his rad. He rubbed his hands fiercely, face red as he cast, "You dog, what insane strength!" I rolled my eyes. Snorting, he said, "Can you stop meddling? Go rest your weak body. Don't embarrass yourself here." Mr. Puny's face turned red. Eso mi handle se Tribesman's blow, only stepping back a few paces. Why did his hands almost shatter? His iron rod was still humming. Before Mr. Puny could argue, he charged back in. Bujita was already shocked by my power. When I saw Mr. Puny, his heart sank. If both enemies were this strong, they'd be hard to handle. But to Bujita's surprise, Mr. Puny did no damage at all. I felt a bit relieved, ignoring Mr. Puny completely. I focused instead on the one charging. Looked down and by both of us, Mr. Puny was about to explode. But since sparks fly from our clash, a quietly vect of to show Magan. Show Magan checkal den said. Don't be in a rush. Brute force isn't your thing. Mr. Puny looked frustrated, But these two are freaks. Show Magan checkaled again. I'm surprised too. The kid's improving way too fast. Mr. Puny muttered something, then watched the battlefield in silence. While they were talking, I'd already traded blows with Wujita, but besides flying sparks, there was no result. Wujita seemed to enjoy it more and more. His grin widened. Finally, after another heavy clash, I couldn't help laughing. Thrilling, best fight in a long time. I, however, was annoyed. We were evenly matched. Neither could gain the upper hand. This won't do. If this drags on, Seades will clear the camp, Mayakispe would be gone. I had a thought. I looked at my remaining points. If I can't beat him, I'll just buff up. I'm a cheat anyway. Who's afraid? But before he could move, Wujita pulled out a small vial. If we met normally, I'd love to test you. But not today. After saying that, Wujita opened the vial and swallowed the contents. He muttered something, and his body began to change. Wujita's muscles bulged instantly, then quickly tightened back. His dark skin turned even blacker. His gaze sharpened. Veins popped on his forehead. His ragged face turned monstrous. He was confused. What's going on? This looks suspicious. Then Showmagan's voice came from behind. Careful. I took the priest to go the pill. His strength is saying. I couldn't help guessing. The AMN. I thought my cheat was bad enough. Didn't expect him to be more shameless. He's using drugs because he's losing. Wujita had a pious look on his face. Then, I fell into a total frenzy. Great God. Thank you for this power. In return, I offer you the enemy's blood, as one his life with fierce power. His strength. Wujita seemed to have endless energy. Mr. Puny looked serious in the distance. He felt Wujita's power already, though not injured. I knew he was no match for him. And now Wujita had taken the drag, becoming even stronger. Could he withstand it? Showmagan sensed his way. H.A.S. Emilide. Don't wait, just wait and see. The kid gets stronger as he fights. Mr. Puny nodded, looking at the field with unease. Aside from weighing, there was nothing he could do. Wujita finished his ritual. His eyes were fixed on me. It was his sacrifice for the god. He had to kill me. Wujita gave a loud roar, charging at me like a bull. He didn't just stand there, without hesitation. He dumped all points into Constitution. Showmagan had warned me, so he couldn't hold back anymore. System points edit successfully. Remaining points, 0. Immense power surged instantly, like a crashing tidal wave, filling my entire body. I let out a grown-up satisfaction. This feeling is addictive. Let's go, he roared, bouncing toward Wujita. Both were at their peak strength. This clash would be legendary. After a massive boom, Mr. Puny watched nervously. After the impact, he was still standing firm. Wujita stood there in a daze, because my strike had sent his glaive flying. His grip was shattered. His fingers twisted at angles. Looking at him now, he'll likely never hold a blade again. Or maybe he won't get the chance. But Wujita didn't care. He just stared at my blade. Puzzled be something. Why? Those were his last words. Because in the next moment, I swung my blade at him. Go ask your god. A cold flash. And Wujita's questions were over. His mind fell into complete darkness. He didn't even look at Wujita's corpse. He walked straight ahead. He bent down and picked up Wujita's crescent blade. He examined the blade carefully. A look of appreciation flashed in my eyes. This really is a great weapon, even after my earth strike. It didn't have a scratch. It happily slammed the blade on my back. And something else made me even happier. A system notification ran in my mind. System, kill count 1, reward attribute point, la 1 y 1. I was overjoyed. These wild tribe guys are totally with it. I got even more points than last time. THINKING about THS. I suddenly remembered something. I looked at the wild tribe big white guy in front of me. My face changed instantly. My X Pepe. Next moment is printed out. He shouted while running. Hey, stop killing. Save some for me. At that moment, on the hill in front of the camp, Shang Tsung's mouth hung open in shock. After a long pause, he finally said two words. Manste. Show him again, Chacal. I said, see, told you I was right. Shang Tsung gripped his iron bar tightly. He really couldn't describe how he felt, aside from shock. He was mostly speechless. Such a strong royal command. God chopped down in just 2 strikes. Stop standing there. Go help out. Shang Tsung just shrugged. He said, I'm not going. Nothing left for me over there. They've got it all handled. Then tonight, for once, you'll be less in line. That's fine. Just seeing this scene is worth it. Shang Tsung and Shou again stood on the hill outside the camp. They looked at the well now ablaze with fire, one with a blank face, sad smiling non-stop. Nobody knew what they were thinking. The well really had turned into a sea of fire. The wild tribe's supply camp was totally destroyed. The raging flames lit up the whole night sky. It was still inside desperately searching. All he could see was fire and corpses. Many wild tribe soldiers had fled. The ones too scared to run had been killed by the 3. He wandered for a while, found nothing. When he reluctantly returned outside the camp, he saw everyone waiting for me. Little Dab was already as no man. Big Damn Guy was alright, except his mace turned into a meat skewer. He'd be busy with that meat for a while. Butterfly was still the same as always, but his clothes were a bit sharp. Probably got smoked when set in the fires. Shang Tsung warmly walked up. Why did you take so long? Everyone was waiting for you. He helplessly looked at this group of troublemakers. Let's go. The group headed back the way we came. Shou again looked relaxed, clearly satisfied with the night's results. Big Damn Guy's in trouble. The meat on his mace was a total mess. No matter how he tried, couldn't finish it. Little Guy was busy chewing his nails. If I didn't chew soon, the blood would dry up. Butterfly walked behind me, watching Shang Tsung try to win me over. Let me carry a blade for you. To and your back is heavy, right? How are you so strong? 2 strikes killed that wild tribe guy. Your strength is crazy. I really never noticed before. He was in a bad mood. And listening to Shang Tsung just made me feel worse. So annoying. He said coldly, shut up. Was your ancestor mural painted at a temple? Shang Tsung froze. What does that mean? Butterfly burst out laughing. I said you talk too much like murals. Murals? I don't have any murals. You meant bullshit, right? You're pretty funny, though. I decided to keep quiet. This guy's face was thick. No matter what you say, nothing gets to him. Might as well save my energy. The group kept moving. Just before sunrise, I saw Bold Guy in the distance. When Bold Guy saw us returning, he clearly relaxed. He cupped his hands to Shou again, then mounted his horse and waved to the troops behind him. The soldiers who waited all night could finally go back. Everyone looked pretty relaxed. We also sped up a bit. When the sun fully rose, we saw that Tiger might camp ahead. The camp had come alive again. You could hear troops training from far away. For some reason, when I heard those sounds, my heart suddenly felt calm. Our struggles for the night were finally over. This time, Bold Guy didn't bring everyone to the camp about Goatbeard, but after collecting their weapons, he directly sent them to the jail. Everyone went back to their own place to rest. He plopped onto the straw. Shang Tsung was probably exhausted, and finally stopped bothering me. But Shou again started talking again. Kid, you always surprise me. Smile. Just lucky, that's all. Us old guys can see talent. Lack of real skill. I can tell the difference. I felt a bit uneasy. This old guy is sharp. What has he figured out? Did you train some special technique? Every time you come back, you get stronger. The technique must be serious. I decided not to say a word. Let him guess for himself. If he figures out, I have a system. That'd be wild. Showmagen soy didn't tense, and stop testing. Everyone here has secrets, himself included. Some things people don't want to talk about, so don't push. When everyone settled down, almost asleep, the jail doors opened. A soldier wheeled in a cart. Right away, I smelled something delicious. My stomach growled. The cart was packed with all kinds of meat. There was fresh water below, and 2 barrels of wine, of course. After pushing in the cart, the soldier left. Everyone looked at Showmagen. Showmagen grinned and said, "What are you spacing out for? Eat." Little guy and big dumb guy rushed up with a yell. Shang Tsung wasn't about to fall behind. He must have been really hungry. He didn't even use his fancy fingers for meat. But a fly came out of the shadows, and looked disgusted at the trees. Messy eating. Picked up a pork chop from the cart, grabbed a jug of water, and went back into the shadows. Showmagen smiled at me, said, "It's something." INODDD, we walked to the cart. Shang Tsung handed me a chunk of pork belly, said, "Try this, smells great." I shot him a glare, skipped the pork belly, and grabbed some beef shank instead. Shang Tsung didn't mind my cold attitude, and handed me a jug of wine. This time it wasn't because he disliked Shang Tsung. The wine was just too mucky. He couldn't drink it, so he picked up a jug of water and chugged it down. Hey, Showmagen took the wine from Shang Tsung, grinned and said, "Tonight, I'm gonna drink all you want." A bunch of people gathered around the cart eating and drinking. The scene suddenly got lively. My mouth was greasy from all the food. The meat was just boiled simply, then sprinkled with a layer of salt. Still, it tasted so good to me. But big guy and Shorty weren't really eating. They stuffed the meat into their mouths. Didn't even chew, just swallowed it. Slim Horse was smiling as he ate and drank. "Don't let his age fool you. His teeth are salad." We cleared at the fest. Sune couldn't eat anymore. Maybe it's because he's full and getting itchy. I held a jug of wine, then started talking to me again. "Little Sue, you're so skilled. How about you protect me next time?" I glanced at him and said, "You don't protect guys who play with sticks." "If you were a woman, maybe I'd consider." We cleared chuckle. I said, "Just treat me as a woman, then." He looked at him again, and said, "You don't like playing with crap." From deep in the cell came Flaw Butterfly's annoyed voice. "I'm eating here. Can you stop talking about disgusting stuff?" We clearly didn't care at all. I burst out laughing, took a sip of wine, said, "That's funny, really funny. Little Sue, you're quite a character." That crepe metaphor was really vivid. Flower Butterfly finally lost her patience, threw a bone out from the darkness. It went right through Wicklord's wine jug, and got stuck deep in the cart's wood. Wicklord's left stopped abruptly. His wine jug shattered on the ground, wine dripped down through his fingers. Then Wicklord shouted angrily, "Damn! Are you crazy, lady? You can kill me, but why waste the wine?" Wicklord heartbreakingly licked his fingers, trying to clean up all the wine. Slim Horse chuckled. I agree, never waste good wine. Next time just wipe his mouth with the bone. From the darkness came Flauebate. Ephel's cold snort. Next time I'll wipe something else, not his mouth. Wicklord caved his butt in fear and yelled, "Don't mess around." I stopped talking, okay. He was amused by Wicklord's goofy look. Slim Horse also left alone. Big Guy didn't even know why everyone was laughing, but I left too. Only Shorty didn't care. Stuffed another piece of meat in his mouth. Cecil was full of cheerful laughter. But just then, Cecil's door suddenly swung open. Everyone looked towards the door. This time, it wasn't guards coming in, but a few prisoners in jail uniforms. First in was a bare-chested man, his muscles bulged, tattooed all over his chest and back. One look, you know his stuff. The two guys scanned the cell after he walked in. His gaze landed on the cart's meat. He was stunned for a second. Didn't expect their big gangsters in this well, but is he really ruthless? The second to enter was a woman. She had a huge chest, almost bursting out of her uniform. Even though she was well endowed, her waist was still super thin. Whole body looked out of proportion. Big boobs girl stuck close to the two guy. The two guy's arms got buried between her sets. As in shy, didn't dare look at anyone in the cell. I stared, shocked. Didn't expect there'd be such natural milk cows around here. Really eye-opening. Said that one in was a skinny guy like Slim Horse. A head crosses. Look just like a fighting Ruste. Very chemical. Ruste ice came scanning everywhere. Seems like in just a few seconds. Sized up everyone's tetas. Then landed his gaze and slim horse. For some reason. My first impression of Ruste eyes was bad. Feels like whenever he looks at someone, he's skimming something. Once everyone was in, the guards closed the cell door. Everyone inside watched them. The two guy wasn't shy at all. A plop down by big guy. Handed a piece of meat to Big Bob's girl. Then grabbed a chunk of fatty meat for himself. Big guy is simple-minded. He was already full. Didn't mind the two guys' sections one bit. Even gave up a spot for Big Bob's girl. Big Bob's girl sat behind the two guy with her head down, nibbling the meat in a ladylike way. Right next to her, Shorty was drooling over her assets. Ser estaba straight put. Nobody stopped the two guy from grabbing the meat. Big guy just kept smiling, and Shorty kept drooling. Wicklord didn't seem interested in the two guy. He was busy studying his status. He was admiring Big Bob's girl's strong assets, and Slim Horse just kept chuckling. Then Rusty broke the silence. About to Slim Horse. Hey, fellas. I'm new here. Hope you look out for me. Slim Horse laughed and said, no need to be formal. You must be hungry, go ahead and eat while it's hot. You're lucky today. Came in and there's meat to eat. Rusty nodded politely to Slim Horse, then started chomping down on a piece of meat. Looks like he really was hungry. He couldn't help but look at Rusty differently. This guy's interesting. Even hungry, still remembered his menace. Even starving, he didn't forget Ketasi. Total opposite of the two guy. Everyone watched them eat and drink. The two guy has a big appetite. He almost finished all the leftover meat. Big Bob's girl and Rusty ate just a tiny bit. Slim Horse so everyone was full. He left and said, let's rest early. Then everyone got up and went back to their usual spots. The two guy found a corner and sat down. Big Bob's girl stuck to him as if she grew out of him. Sat down right next to him. Rusty sat by Slim Horse. Slim Horse smiled. He didn't mind. Before this trip, Cecil vibe was really good. Now it felt cold and quiet. The two guy was like a mute. He hasn't said a single word since he got here. But Rusty kept chatting with Slim Horse. Not talking to me, so I got to relax. He didn't talk to Rusty either. He kept quiet. Everyone seemed tired. We hadn't slept all last night. Now we need a rest. The two guy and his friends just settled in. Had a big meal. Now they closed their eyes and dressed up. Rusty was smart, so everyone prepping for sleep. So I stopped talking too. Cecil fell silent. I'm exhausted these days. Everyone finally gets some rest. He was so out of it, he fell asleep right away. I shook my head. The two guy is really wild. He doesn't even care about doing all that in front of everyone. He tended lay down to keep sleeping. But just as he lay down, he saw cross-eyed drenched in sweat. His eyes were closed, and his whole body was shaking. He looked super nervous. He was a bit confused, no idea what's wrong with him, but he didn't feel like dealing with it. So I closed my eyes to sleep. The whole day passed with that annoying noise. Until it got dark, the two guy finally stopped. He sat up with a blank stare. He didn't sleep well at all that day. Felt like he had a bunch of weird dreams. Now my head is full of voices, men and women. He shot the two guy a glare, feeling pissed. And then, he was shocked. The two guy looked like he'd lost a ton of weight. His face was pale. Even had dark circles under his eyes. No. He sighed. Thinking, young people have zero self-control. He glanced over at Big Chest Girl. The two guy was in such bad shape. So how messed up was Big Chest Girl after all that, but she was still holding onto his arm. Her face was flushed, and she looked super healthy. Even her chest seemed a bit bigger now. He sighed again. Guess that old saying is true. The axe gets worn out, but she feels this fine. He didn't care about their drama. He sat up, looked at cross-eyed next to Skinny Horse. He looked normal, not sick at all. He was confused. Maybe he imagined cross-eyed being weird, and him shaking was just a dream. He looked at Seades. Shorty was trimming Big Guy's nails. Skinny Horse had his eyes closed, chilling. Kidney Guy was watching me. He didn't bother being polite, just rolled my eyes at him. Just then, Cecil's door opened. A soldier walked in with a big basket. It was filled with buns, no alcohol tonight though. Everyone saw the naive, so they all got up and walked to the door. The two guy and Big Chest Girl were first. Behind Shorty was second. Skinny guy waited for me, wobbling down. Cross-eyed followed Skinny horse. And Butterfly girl walked out from the dark corner of the cell too. The two guys didn't wait in line, just reached into Sebe's cat, but someone blocked him. He looked at that peasant. Then at my side, my eyes widened instantly. Them. When did Skinny Horse sneak up there? Can Skinny Horse teleport or something? Skinny Horse smiled and spoke up. There are rules in here. When with, everyone lines up by how many kills they made. The two guys face dropped, said his first words since coming in. Like I care about your rules. I have my own rules. I raised my eyebrow and snorted. Didn't think the two guys would be stupid and reckless. Looks like something fun's about to happen. Perfectime to see how good Skinny Horse is, but Skinny Horse didn't say anything else. Just smiled at the two guy. The two guy, seeing no response, and not moving aside, got pissed. Then big chest girl beside him moved a little. I turned to her, snorted and backed off to the end. I watched in amazement. The two guy looks tough, but takes orders from a woman? Anyway, I didn't think much of it. These people are pretty interesting. I need to keep watching them. Big guy always gets Butterfly girl stuff first, second pick. I'm upset. Shorty is fourth. Kidney guy goes after Shorty. The two guy and big chest girl together, cross-eyed gets last. Big guy grabbed the advance. Butterfly girl got 2. I took 5. It was Shorty's 10. I took 3 vans from the basket, then dove into the basket head first. Kidney guy took 1 van, then handed Skinny Horse 2. Now there were no vans left. The two guy flipped out. I yelled, "Are you messing with me?" Skinny Horse just smiled and said, "That's the rule. If you want more food, kill more people next time. Damn rules. Give your vans to me." Skinny Horse smiled, "I'm right here. If you have the guts, take them." The two guy immediately reached for Skinny Horse's vans, but just as his hand got halfway, something weird happened. The two guys hand turned black halfway, but only halfway. Any arm within 1 meter of Skinny Horse turned black. The two guys' face changed fast. A lost feeling in his hand. The two guy freaked out, pulled his hand back. Then it instantly went back to normal. I checked his hand, feeling returned. Not convinced, I reached out again. But another weird thing happened. As a hand got within a meter of Skinny Horse, it turned black again. The two guy quickly pulled his hand back, and it went back to normal, but he didn't dare reach out anymore. "What did you do to me?" Skinny Horse just smiled silently. He was chewing a bun, thinking this was awesome. I didn't get Skinny Horse's trick, but it was impressive. No one the Skinny Horse is the boss in here, I thought. I just used those jars and bottles to poison people. But right now, Skinny Horse didn't have any bottles on him, and he still poisoned the two guy. The most incredible thing was, the poison only worked within 1 meter of him. But it wouldn't affect Skinny Horse. The two guy wouldn't mess with Skinny Horse now, but he still wouldn't let it go, so he reached for my vans. He frowned. "If you try to take my vans, that's basically killing me. No way I'm letting that slide." I didn't even think, just slapped the two guy's hand away. I held back and didn't use full force. If he went all out, his hand would have been smashed. Right now, I'm still interested in watching the show. The two guy really is a reckless rookie. I just got here and already pissed everyone off. It's gonna get even more interesting after this. So right now, I don't plan to kill the two guy. If he wanted him dead, he wouldn't have filmed just his hand. But the two guy seems clueless. He doesn't realize he just spared his life. He's still thinking about snatching my vans. But at that moment, Mr. Weakling stepped in front of me. "Wow, don't push your luck. There's a line, you know. You want the vans, huh? Promise me one thing. You can have all my vans." The two guy looked at Mr. Weakling's dark circles and said, "What's the catch?" Mr. Weakling gave a sly grin. I said, "Let me have your girl for a day. How about it, eh?" The two guys as flashed gold. I thought he was about to lose it, but to my surprise, the two guy just grinned. "Sure, she's yours." With that, the two guy pushed the big bobette girl next to him over. Her chest started bouncing all over. Mr. Weakling didn't even look at her. I just stared at the two guy, kept staring until the two guy got nervous. "Hey, you want her or not?" Mr. Weakling just chuckled. "No, I changed my mind. Just messing with you. You can have 7. Mr. Weakling tossed the vans to the two guy. The two guy shoved the van in his mouth without a thought. Right then, the big bobette girl went back to the two guy's side. She pressed right up against him. I was confused watching this. Isn't Mr. Weekly into girls with something extra? Why would he want a big bobette girl instead of spending the night with the two guy? But what really surprised me was, the two guy actually just agreed to his terms like it was nothing. Like it didn't matter at all, just as it was puzzle. The two guys suddenly nodded at me and said, "Kid, give me one of your bands, and I'll have this girl spend the night with you. How about it, eh?" It was stunned for a second, then just grinned. It didn't answer him. Instead, I stuffed all my bands in my mouth. Then turned around and walked off.